Hey everybody, Sean with the Good Dog with TGD's AMA and Angelica Pickles. Gotta hope that's your real name. Angelica Pickles asked about her dog learning the double down because her dog knows place, but gets super excited and barky and snarky when guests arrive. So she's hoping the double down will help her dog relax more, get more calm, be less reactive. For those who don't know what the double down is, the double down is a concept we came up with here at TGD, where you teach a dog to down on place. You can do it on an actual down, but it's better to at least teach it on place. And so I'm going to run through this. So the concept with the double down is that the mind follows the body. So if a dog is on place in a down or in a down state, they're going to be more relaxed than if they're just wandering willy-nilly, just doing whatever they're doing to and fro, or being worried about guests or anything else that might be going on. So in place, in a down, they got some structured thing they're supposed to be doing. But if you go one step further and you do the double down requires the dog's head to actually be down like this. And what we found is that by cultivating that and reinforcing and training and making sure that the dog can hold it, the dog actually goes to a much calmer, more relaxed place. Just think about it, like if you're sitting up in bed versus if you're laying down in bed. You're in a different state. Same thing goes with the dogs. So how do we train it? First, we train it on place. So I don't like to do it on just a down state. You can, but it's harder because it gives the dog more options as far as problem solving. So use place command, get that super solid. Before you get to place command, back up one step, make sure you've got a down stay super solid. Like you say down, your dog just boom, down, then train place. You could reverse it, but you see what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that both down and place need to be super rock solid, because you need the dog to understand the boundary of place, so it limits your dog's options of how to problem solve. And you need to have the down super solid, so this is already a pattern both mentally and physically for your dog to lay down, because then that will lead them to the next problem solving solution, which is to put their head down. So after you've got all this stuff in place, no pun intended, you then put your dog on place. This is typically done with e-collar work. So we don't do it with food. We don't do it with prong. You could try it that way. I don't recommend it. Food tends to amp dogs up, which makes the thing that you're trying to create very difficult to create. Prong collar is going to typically create resistance. If you're trying to get the dog to lay its head down, you could coach it with food and a little prong pressure, but it's going to be pretty hard. That's why I'm saying, like, get the down rock solid, get the place rock solid, but we do it with e-collar. So that eliminates this whole kind of oppositional reflex of trying to like put pressure on a dog like that with a leash or prong or even a martingale or anything like that, and the dog's like pushing back against it. The e-collar creates a more neutral interaction. So once you got that place, once you got that down super solid, put your dog on place. Make sure the distractions are low, and then your dog is e-collar trained per my request. And then at a very low level, very low, you ask for the down, right? And your dog will be like, I'm already down. Then you ask for it again. Tap the button simultaneously at a low level. Say your dog typically works around a 5 or 6 in the house. Start at a 2 or a 3. Your dog might get up. What's going on? Like, I'm in or down. Right? So your dog's going through the first stage of problem solving. Now, a lot of people are like, oh man, you're not teaching the dog. Like, dogs are smart. If you pattern these other two things, like I said, it limits the possibility of what they can get into or how difficult the problem is for them to solve. So don't freak out, okay? Bear with me. So dog is on place, knows that it can't leave that perimeter of place. So there's already a heavy limitation. I can't get off this. Okay, they ask for the down. I'm already in the down. Maybe I'll get up, turn around. Okay, they ask for the down again and tap the button. It's not excruciatingly high, it's just a reminder, but they're looking for something and I'm not offering it. But I've done the down like this so many times that what ends up happening, I'm talking like through your dog, but what ends up happening is your dog goes, okay, I can't leave place, so they're not trying to get me to move off this command. I can't move away from here. And they're asking for the down again. I think I'm in a down, but it's not enough. So then they start offering different things, like I said. So they might turn around, or they might look around, or they might just shuffle a little bit and try and settle. That's a typical one. They'll shuffle a few times on place and like, you like this? Do you like this? How about this? And you're like, nope, down. And then all of a sudden you'll see your dog go and put its head down. Usually it takes 2 to 3 to 4 times. It really doesn't take a lot. Your dog will lay its head down and then very neutrally, so you don't blow it and cause your dog to make a mistake. Good. Whatever your marker is, good. Yes. Right? So then your dog goes, ooh, that's what you're looking for. Now, your dog may raise its head in the next few moments. Perfectly understandable. It's a brand new thing. Your dog's like, you said good, I guess you like that, but this is brand new, so you need to pattern it. So your dog lifts its head up, no, down, a little tap, dog lays its head down, good. Oh, that's what you're looking for. So what ends up happening is just by reducing possibilities, because you train place, and by increasing patterns psychologically and physiologically through doing a lot of downs, the next logical conclusion, if you're a dog, is like, I can't get off here. I need to be laying down. And they don't intellectually contemplate this, but what's the next furthest step of down? And the head goes down. It's pretty amazing to watch. And when dogs get it, it's super cool. And super cool for owners too, because they're like, geez, look at that. He put his head down when I asked him to put his head down. So that's how we go about training it. That's how you go about getting the double down. And then you have to reinforce and really make sure you're on top of it, because the typical thing is that your dog's going to want to poke its head up and look around and see what's going on, especially if you've got a dog like you're saying who's reactive to guests and things and whatever, what have you going on in the house. You're gonna have to really be on top of them and make sure, and maybe those levels have to come up a little bit. If once your dog really knows it, you starts breaking it and looking up, no, down, right? Now you're at 5, your dog's like, ooh, you really meant that. Head down. Pattern it until your dog's super rock solid. That's how you build the double down. Like I said, we prefer e-collar, we don't prefer prong, we don't prefer food, but if that's all you got, you can try and get creative and try and make it happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying I prefer this method. Now, here's a little glitch in the matrix. Say you're saying your dog barks and gets a little bit snarky when guests arrive, and you're hoping the double down will help him get to a more relaxed place where he won't care. My guess, not to be a downer, but my guess is that the double down will help them relax in general, but not to that specific trigger. Most likely your dog will still be reactive to the door, will still bark, will still raise its head and do the stuff you don't want them to do or don't want him to do. So most likely you're going to have to punish the actual moment of escalating or becoming reactive or triggering off of whatever it is. So you need to have some kind of corrective tool. So I'm not sure what you're using, but hopefully we're using an e-collar, and that makes it real easy. Correct, say no at the same time, correct at a valuable level. Your dog should relax. If that doesn't work, if an e-collar tends to amp your dog up, then perhaps a bonker. Bonker has a tendency to de-escalate when sometimes prong collar or e-collar will elevate a dog or escalate a dog. So that's another option. So if you train the double down, like there's a whole thing of like people that just want to train dogs. So train them to do it, train them to do it, train them to do it. That's great. I'm not poking at you. I'm just saying, like, a lot of trainers out there. But there's a point where it goes beyond just like training and for a dog to know something. Then you have to inhibit behaviors. So you can do the double down with all this and you might get magic and it might be amazing. Or you might still find you've got a reactive dog when guests come over and you need to address that specifically. And if that's the case, then address it specifically. Find the consequence that's valuable to your dog, valuable enough for your dog to not bark, to not be like tense, to not be staring, and go after it the first second you see that escalation, that elevation, the first moment that you see or you hear knock or doorbell and your dog looks. As soon as that or gets up, that's when you correct. Don't wait for the barks, don't wait for hell to break loose, go after it right then. Find the correction your dog values enough to chill out, relax, and calm down and go, it's not worth it. And that's kind of how you go about it. So, Angelica Pickles, I think I got it. I hope that helps. All right, thanks.